To understand how to accurately draw a turtle shell, you have to take a look at its general makeup. This includes being aware of the many patterns that adorn their shells, the texture of the surfaces, and how the shell itself is put together. For this tutorial, I will focus on the average freshwater turtle, which pertains to most common species such as sliders and their kin. Since there are endless types of shells in the turtle and tortoise world, I wanted to simplify to one group rather than have a lot of confusion. Firstly, I've included photos of a preserved turtle shell that I retrieved out of a pond. It was a deceased turtle, and I decided to keep the shell as a sort of fossil. This bony remnant clearly shows how the plates fit together that make up the carapace and the plastron, and even the internal backbone and ribs. Even though this is from a modern reptile, this is part of the history of a group of animals that has existed for over 200 million years. Even the oldest of turtle fossils follow the same design, which you will learn to follow in your drawings. There is another part of turtle shells which are called scutes. They are protective plates of keratin covering the living bone of the shell. They also give the shell its colors and also shed as the turtle grows. I've collected a few sets of these from my yellow-bellied slider, and it's amazing to see the amount of texture and pigment in them. You can see the lines of growth and how all the little plates fit together on the shell. They are, for all intents and purposes, the fingernails of a turtle shell. Okay, today we are going to work on drawing turtle shells. First, this is what I'm going to show you here. This is the shape that I start out with. It's kind of an elongated oval and sort of like a heart at the very beginning here, or the very top rather. And then at the end, at the bottom, there is a slight point. Now I'm going to show you how to draw the scoop pattern and the marginal scoots and everything around. And what you're going to do is you're going to start with the scoots just around the side here, and then we'll fill them in as they go along. And they get a little bit thinner around the side here. And this area, as you go down the rim here, almost becomes like a skirt in a sense. And these two end scoots here, right in the middle, they split down the middle. And remember to make them skinnier on the side here. And then as you go down here, well actually, just to show you here, around the top here is when you'll actually start to get a little bit edges on the side here, where you can see how some of them have a little bit of a point, and they do poke out just a little bit. And they do the same toward the end. They get a little bit longer, have a little bit of a pointed end to them. And it differs from species to species, but in sliders it does occur. You'll see map turtles that have it really exaggerated points toward the end of their shell here. Like I said, there's a lot of variation between turtle shells, so I'm just doing a very simple one that you'll most often see with the sliders in general, a lot of pond turtles, that sort of thing. I'll try to go over different species, you know, as I make them in my own work, because to do a video on every single species would be quite exhaustive. Okay, and then we'll do, you have central scutes, well, they're actually vertebral scutes that go down toward the middle, and there are always 5 that go down straight the middle. They're part of the spine. And they're kind of diamond shaped a little bit, except without the points on the edge here. They kind of blend into each other a bit. And then that last one is maybe a half diamond. And you can do just a little bit of a point down the middle. And again, this sort of thing will vary just a little bit between species, but most of the time it follows that. And just do a little bit of a keel down the middle, because some of them do have that. And it's generally that's where the spine is, so you're going to have some definition down the middle. And then the side scutes, which are called the plural scutes, are going to be, there's about 4 of those on each side, and they start at the points. See, they grow from the points out from the central diamonds, and that's how you have your basic turtle shell shape. That is the carapace. The plastron is a little bit easier to do. This is how to do the plastron. You're going to start with the same basic shape as I showed you the first time, except with this you're going to do just a little bit of a circle here toward the top. Not a circle, but rather a half one. And down towards here as well, except a little slimmer. And these are the areas too that the front legs come out and the back legs come out. So just to have you, this all is connected by one piece, so there's no lines there. And the marginals are a little bit less bumpy from this view, so they're a little more rounded. You don't have to do as many points to them from this view. What you will do is you'll do a line down the middle and do it a little bit squiggly because that's part of the growth lines on the plastron. And then you're going to do some of the plates down here, and they go up a little bit like that. Their lines are a bit different since it's the bottom of the shell, but they follow a similar pattern, except they have no central scutes. It's just 2 sides. And you can see how they sort of bend the shape and how they kind of go along the edges here. And then this central piece here is the largest part. And then you have the last bit here. And then you'll just draw in some of the scutes here, some of the lines of them. Actually, this part should be a little bit thinner. Let me just fix that real fast. Nothing you can't fix if you don't have an eraser. But yeah, it's a little thinner toward the top there, and then you just start drawing in the lines for your marginal scoots. And again, this is a bit loose of a drawing, just to kind of give you an idea of how the view from this bottom, the bottom of the shell sort of works and how things are put together here. You can always go back and straighten things up and sharpen the detail a little more, but this is just the basic shape of everything down there, and that's how you would draw a plastron.